Success isn't just about achieving goals, it's about who you become on the way. I want to remind you today that no matter where you come from or what you've been through, you can shape your life. You can build a version of success that is uniquely yours. I've seen days when getting out of bed felt like a battle and nights when hope was nowhere to be found. But I've also seen how small habits repeated quietly, consistently, can transform the impossible into something beautiful. Let me share with you 5 powerful habits that have the potential to change your life, not overnight, but over time. Gratitude is often misunderstood. People assume it's something you express only when everything is going well, when you're healthy, successful, and surrounded by happiness. But real gratitude doesn't wait for life to be perfect. It shows up in the middle of the mess. It's the quiet strength that helps you look at your life, even in pain, and say, there is still something here that is worth holding on to. It is not a weakness to say thank you when your heart is tired. It is a powerful declaration that your spirit is still alive. There were days in my own journey when I felt like life had taken everything away from me. And on those days, I found that gratitude was not about listing blessings, it was about searching for any reason to keep going. Some days, all I could be thankful for was the ability to breathe, the smile of a stranger, or the sound of rain against the window. These moments might seem small, even insignificant, but when you are drowning in sorrow, they become lifelines. Gratitude in those times was not a feeling, it was a choice, a habit, and a form of survival. When we practice gratitude, especially in dark seasons, something shifts within us. We begin to see that pain and beauty can exist in the same breath. Gratitude does not erase suffering. It simply reminds us that suffering is not the whole story. It invites us to notice what is still present rather than focus only on what is missing. And in doing so, it builds resilience. Gratitude anchors us. It brings us back to the now, reminding us that even if everything is not okay, there is still something good left to hold on to. The strongest people I've met are not the ones who have never fallen. They are the ones who've known loss, failure, heartbreak, but still choose to say thank you. Thank you for this day. Thank you for another chance. Thank you for the lesson. This kind of gratitude is not fragile, it is fierce. It does not deny reality. It transforms how we face it. When we begin to see gratitude not as a reaction, but as a habit, we begin to reclaim power over our circumstances. And slowly, that power builds something far greater than success. It builds character. The way we speak to ourselves matters more than we realize. Every sentence we whisper inwardly, every label we attach to ourselves, becomes part of the foundation on which we build our identity. If those words are harsh, critical, and full of doubt, we unknowingly begin to construct a life based on fear and inadequacy. But if those words are kind, encouraging, and rooted in truth, we begin to build something stronger, something rooted in self-belief. You may not control what others say to you, but you do have power over the conversation you have with yourself. There were moments when I stood in front of the mirror and could barely recognize the person looking back. I didn't see courage. I didn't see worth. I saw damage. And every time I said to myself, "You're not enough," I was slowly burying my potential under layers of self-doubt. It took time and tears and conscious effort to change that voice. I started by saying things I didn't yet believe. You are worthy. You are capable. You matter. At first, those words felt foreign, even false. But day by day, they began to take root. Like planting seeds in dry soil, I had to water them with patience. What many don't realize is that the mind listens. It absorbs what you tell it over and over again. The words you speak to yourself today shape the decisions you will make tomorrow. If you tell yourself you're a failure, you will hesitate to try. If you tell yourself you're too broken, you will resist healing. But if you tell yourself you are learning, growing, evolving, then even your mistakes begin to look like stepping stones. The story you tell yourself becomes the life you live, and that story is written one word at a time. Speak to yourself the way you would to a friend who's struggling with compassion, with hope, and with unwavering support. You would never tell someone you love that they are worthless or undeserving, so why say those things to yourself? The moment you shift your inner dialogue from criticism to kindness, you begin to unlock a strength that was always there. This isn't about pretending everything is okay. It's about refusing to be your own enemy. Your voice has power, use it to build, not to break. Waiting for the perfect moment to begin is a trap many of us fall into. We think success is reserved for those who make bold, grand moves, and that anything less is insignificant. But the truth is, progress is built on small actions, taken consistently over time. It doesn't matter how small your step is, what matters is that you take it. Every day, every choice, every moment of effort you invest in your growth adds up. In the beginning, it might not seem like much, but as you keep moving, you'll start to see the power of the small things. I remember feeling overwhelmed at the start of my own journey, paralyzed by the enormity of what I thought I had to do. I wanted to change everything at once, fix all my problems in one swoop. But the weight of that expectation only held me back. It wasn't until I accepted that I didn't need to do it all at once that I began to move forward. I started with tiny steps. One phone call, one small change in my routine, one task at a time. Each one felt insignificant, but together they began to create momentum. The small actions, when they add up, transform into something far more powerful than any giant leap. It's easy to think that small efforts don't matter. When you're writing your goals on paper or thinking about what you want to achieve, it's tempting to imagine huge breakthroughs and instant results. But success isn't about waiting for the big moments. It's about how you show up every single day, no matter how small your contribution might seem. If you make one extra call today, take 5 minutes to learn something new, or simply show up when it's easier to stay home, those are victories in themselves. And those victories pile up to create a life you're proud of. Taking action, even when it's small, shifts your mindset. It tells your brain that you are in control, that you are moving forward, even if it's just 1 inch at a time. Over time, you realize that each little step is building a foundation for something much bigger than you could have imagined. Action, no matter how small, breaks the cycle of waiting and procrastination. It allows you to be present with the process, rather than fixating on the outcome. And with every tiny effort, you move closer to the person you want to be, the success you want to achieve, and the life you're creating for yourself. The people you choose to surround yourself with have an incredible impact on the way you see the world and the way you see yourself. It's not just about the company you keep, it's about the energy they bring, the support they offer, and the ways they inspire you to be better. There's a power in being around people who believe in you, who see your potential, even when you can't. They are the ones who will lift you when you're exhausted, celebrate your smallest wins, and remind you of your strength when you forget. These are the people who don't just stand by you, they stand for you. I've encountered people throughout my life who've doubted me, who've questioned my every decision, and who've even tried to hold me back. At one point, I thought that maybe I wasn't enough, that maybe they were right, but then I learned a valuable lesson. The only opinions that truly matter are the ones that come from those who see your worth. It wasn't until I surrounded myself with people who saw possibility instead of limitations, hope instead of fear, that I started to believe in my own power. Their words became my fuel. Their belief in me became the mirror I used to reflect on my own strengths. We all go through tough times. We face rejection, fear, and uncertainty. But having the right people around you makes all the difference in how you handle those moments. When you have people who lift you up, who remind you of your light, those dark moments don't seem as impossible. You realize that failure is not permanent, that setbacks are just part of the journey. Uplifting, people don't let you of something real, something that will stand long after the noise has faded. You don't need to argue your worth or explain your process. When the time is right, what you've created will speak louder than any explanation ever could. The truth is, words can be doubted, but results are hard to ignore. The people who once questioned your silence will come back and ask how you did it, but by then, you won't need to say much. Your strength will show in your peace, your growth will reflect in your presence, your success will echo in the lives you touch and the quiet confidence you carry. Because you didn't spend your time proving, you spent it becoming. And that makes all the difference. Let your life be your statement. Let your work be your voice. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more authenticity, more substance, more stories that were written in the shadows and brought to light through action, not attention. Keep building in silence, and one day your presence will say everything you never had to explain. So focus on yourself, not out of selfishness, but out of self-respect. Stay silent not because you have nothing to say, but because you are choosing to grow, to heal, and to rise without distraction. In a world that is loud and hurried, become the calm. In a world that demands constant performance, become the quiet worker who builds something real. You owe no one an explanation for your evolution. You are allowed to outgrow places, habits, and even people. Let your peace speak. Let your purpose guide you. Let your results whisper what your words never had to shout. There is nothing more powerful than a person who knows who they are, where they're going, and doesn't need to announce it. Be that person. Walk in silence. Build in focus. And when you arrive, let your light do the talking.